Come on, Matt. Oh, yes!
Matttown is still Matttown. 2 straight wins. And strap in, everybody. Sunday is going to be a blast at the CrossFit Games.
Got myself a little special guest today. Say hello to the camera. Hey, this is Poppy, our little rescue dog. She don't want to be up this early. Day 3 of the CrossFit Games is over and a bit brutal if you ask me. Bit brutal. And I think a couple of the athletes would agree with me. So after the first event on day 3, Dave Castro announced that the field would be cut from 20 athletes down to 10 for the final 2 days of the weekend. Now for me it just seems like that 20 should have at least stayed for another day, maybe for the whole weekend until the final event, and then cut it down to 10. To lose 10 of probably the world's greatest CrossFitters seems a bit harsh, and from what Pat Vellner was saying, he kind of also agrees.
I don't know, it's a growing year, it sucks. It feels weird because we're halfway through the competition, and I feel like we haven't done any meaningful CrossFit yet. We've run 3 times, but like I want to like go get my hands on some CrossFit Games events, and I feel like now we're going to start doing that, and you know, some of the top CrossFit Games athletes are not going to be there to do it.
Some of the names we lost after the cut on the men's side: Pat Vellner finished 16th, Lucas Holberger was on the podium last year, 17th, Cole Sager was 11th, Chandler Smith took 15th, so some very big names on the men's side then to leave that final 10. On the women's side, the list is even longer. 12th position you got Annie Thorisdottir, 14th Pacelli, 15th Laura Hovarth, who again was on the podium last year. Thought she would have a better showing, but she seems to have struggled this year. 16th Brooke Wells, who something happened in the sprint event. I think her foot went over the yellow line and she was in tears, so that gave her a penalty, so she was down to 16th. She probably would have made the cut if it wasn't for that. And then in 20th position, Sarah Sigmundsdottir, who was my pick for a podium finish. So losing some very big names going straight into day 3. Now I'm going to start with the teams, as they only did 2 events today. They did the sprint relay, which was similar to the individual races, but all 4 athletes had to go, and then they did the big chipper. In the sprint relay, in 4th position was CrossFit Mayhem. In 3rd position was Team Don't Stop. In 2nd position was Invictus X, and taking the win was CrossFit Krypton. And can I just say, Jessica Griffith and Alex Smith, wow, check this out. Alex Smith literally comes from nowhere.
Mia Ackerland, same story, has a big lead, but look out, here comes...
Take that final win. Unbelievable speed. He did the same thing in the heats, because in this sprint relay format they did 2 heats first, then a final, and Krypton smashed both of them. They were so fast. Alex Smith is lightning. And with Mayhem finishing 4th, and then the point changes happening because the teams have been cut, really did minimise that gap. However, going into the big chipper, CrossFit Mayhem just showed their quality yet again. They were miles ahead of all the other teams. The closest team was OC3 Black, who also put in another good performance. And then in 3rd place was Central Beast. Now, after their really good showing in the sprint relay, CrossFit Krypton really did struggle. They finished 9th in this event. So overall, CrossFit Mayhem are still absolutely smashing the field. I see no one catching them. The points gap is far too great. CrossFit Mayhem are on 635 points, and in 2nd place, their closest to them is CrossFit Krypton, who are on 478. That is one hell of a gap. In 3rd place you got Central Beast, 4th place OC3 Black, and 5th place is Team Don't Stop. Now moving on to the individuals on day 3. There was 3 workouts. There was the sprint workout, which cut the field from 20 to 10. And then there was the split couplet, and then there was the clean workout in the Coliseum, which was awesome. So in the sprint workout, we lost some big names, but taking that top 3 spot was Toomey took 3rd place, 2nd place was Prevost, and then in 1st place was Christine Holt. Now Christine Holt is having an unbelievable games. She is looking very, very impressive. There seemed to be some issues with the scoring. I think Brooke Wells got a penalty in that event. I think her foot crossed the yellow line, which resulted in her actually leaving the competition because she didn't make the top 10. I didn't see that actually happen, so I need to watch that back to see how harsh the penalty was. But I know Pat Vellner got a similar thing in the men's side of things. So going on to the split couplet, which was the pegboard climb, 100 double unders, 10 split dumbbell snatches, 10 dumbbell clean and jerk splits. Whoa, I can't even remember just saying it. And in that event, Claire Toomey just absolutely dominated. Like, they are her kind of events. Get inside that Coliseum, put on a show, give her a heavy dumbbell, typical kind of CrossFit workout, and she's just gonna show her worth, and she did. So in 4th place was Jamie Green, who looked very impressive. In 3rd place was Katrin Davidsdottir. Now Katrin only just managed to scrape into the top 10, but then she put on one hell of a show in that sprint couplet to climb that leaderboard, and I feel now she's in that top 10, she's just going to start putting in a performance after performance after performance, and I think she's going to make the podium. She's not quite there yet, but I think she's definitely going to make the podium. In 2nd place was Carissa Pearce, who was having a quality games as well. She seems to be performing in the majority of the events. And then obviously in 1st place was Claire Toomey, who just dominated the heat from the off. It was very strange only seeing 10 athletes go. I definitely think there should be at least 15, still the 20. But then moving on to the heavy clean event, which was so good to watch. I was surprised in how good it was. It was like your typical Olympic lifting competition. So there was a big platform, middle of the Coliseum. Each athlete went up to the podium, went to hit their certain weight. Then your next athlete would go, everyone would go, then it would go up till you've got one person left. If there was a couple of people that dropped out on the same weight, they would then do a tie break, 5 cleans at a certain weight as well. Amanda Barnhart, the first like 2 or 3 weights, she literally just power cleaned. And when I say power cleaned, it was almost like a muscle clean. It was effortless. But then going, as the weights got heavier and heavier, Toomey started to show her Olympic quality, and she actually took the win with a weight of, I think it was 270, I believe. I'll have to check that. Amanda Barnhart was 2nd. Greece's Anna Frakow was 3rd. 4th was Katrin Davidsdottir, so another good finish for her, especially in a lifting event. And that's what because this field is now only 10 people, these positions are going to be very important. 5th place was Christine Holt again, and in 6th place was Jamie Green, who put in another good performance. So the overall standings for the women, Toomey still in the lead with 721 points. She's created a bit of a gap now between herself and 2nd place Christine Holt, who's on 638. You got Jamie Green sat in 3rd position, 591, who is being very, very impressive. She looked great at Sid, but she's looking even better here at the games. 4th place you got Carissa Pearce. 5th place you got Katrin Davidsdottir, who I think she's going to keep climbing. And you've got to give a shout out to Hayley Adams. She is in 8th position. She made the top 10. To be 18 years old, make the top 10 is crazy. It's crazy. So hopefully the pressure's off her now. She can start putting in more performances, relax a little bit, and just, yeah, show the world how good she is. And last but not least, we go on to the individual men's side of things. Now the sprint event actually threw up a few surprises. Matt Fraser finished in 15th position, and that was not the start to the day he wanted when Noah Ohlsen had that leader's jersey. So I think Matt Fraser was a little bit pissed off with that. So in 3rd place in the sprint workout was Noah Ohlsen. 2nd place was Goodmanson, BKG, And in first place was Saxon Panchik. Now Saxon Panchik was sat outside the cut line. I think he was in 11th or 12th. He took the event win and just catapulted him into that top 10. So that's a massive result for Saxon Panchik. Obviously Scott Panchik's little brother, Games veteran, a little bit young, I think he's 23. So big things to come from Saxon. If he can put on some really good performances over the weekend, you're going to see him right up there. Then we moved into Coliseum for the split couplet, and again, all you could think of was Matt Fraser who's going to dominate these are his kind of workouts. And he did. Like, he needed this so much. He took that number 1 spot. He looked so confident on the peg climbs, never seemed to be phased on the 100 double unders, and then just methodically worked through the split snatches and the split dumbbell cleans and jerks. So very impressive from Matt Fraser. That's what we wanted to see. So we start to put a little bit of pressure on Noah Ohlsen. Now Noah Ohlsen and BKG were going head to head for the 2nd place position, and it looked like BKG was going to get it. Noah Ohlsen had a slip on the pegboard and fell, which looked like Noah Ohlsen's mistakes were finally starting to seep in. The pressure maybe was getting to him, but no, he held his nerve. BKG broke on the final cleans, and Noah Ohlsen took that 2nd spot. So although Matt Fraser took that number 1 spot, it wasn't that bad for Noah Ohlsen, so that was all good. Hepner took 4th position, and in 5th place was James Newbury, who's still up there, still performing really well. Now moving on to the cleans for the men in the Coliseum. Wow, it was hyped up so good. 5th place was Noah Ohlsen, who had to have a lift off with Saxon. So the 5 cleans. Noah Ohlsen won, very close, but he got that 5th place. So now it was all dependent on where Matt Fraser would finish and how much of a point difference would be between Noah Ohlsen and Matt Fraser. BKG Goodmanson came 4th. In 3rd position was Munwala. Them two had to have a lift off as well. And then it was between Scott Panchik and Matt Fraser for that number 1 spot. And wow, did they put on a show. It was unbelievable. They got all the way to 380, I believe. Scott Panchik missed 380. He was looking solid before that, but missed 380. Up stepped Matt Fraser, and then he did this.
Matt Fraser for the event win.
He wants to walk off.
Yeah.
380 for the 3-time champ. He hits this, he wins the event.
Come on, Matt. Oh, yes!
Matt is still Matt.
Absolute scenes in the Coliseum looked unbelievable. So yeah, Matt Fraser took 2 of the 3 events on day 3, which is reduced that point gap on Noah Ohlsen. Noah Ohlsen is still your number 1 overall, which is just a massive shock. It is a huge shock to not see Matt Fraser in that white leaders jersey. So he said himself he's just going to go all guns blazing now and try and get that jersey back, try and get that title back. He's not going to hold back, so we're in for a treat on day 4. In your overall standings for the men, you got Jacob Hepner in 6th position, who's just seems to be performing really, really well. Really like Jacob Hepner, he seems like a great guy. 5th place you got James Newbury, having a stellar performance all the way through this competition. 4th place you got Scott Panchik after a couple of good finishes, and the good finishes in the clean. Then you got BKG sitting 3rd position on 568 points. 2nd place you got Matt Fraser on 634 points, and then in number 1 spot you've still got Noah Ohlsen holding off Matt Fraser with 649 points. So that gap has reduced dramatically. Going in today, I think it was 60 or 70 points. It's now down to around 15 points. Wow, it is going to be a very exciting day 4. If you did enjoy this video, as always, please smash that subscribe button and please smash that like button. I'll be back tomorrow with the final recap video, and you will know who has been crowned the fittest on earth. Looks like Toomey will hold on that number 1 spot for the women. The men's side is very interesting. This is not what we did. We did not expect this at all. So will Matt Fraser catch down Noah Ohlsen? Will Noah Ohlsen hold him off? Can BKG hold on to that podium finish? Let's find out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.